He also then went on to notice to point out the increasing penetration of countries. He said there are now 49 countries with more than 50% penetration of the internet, but that could go into the billions over the next couple of years. He also called on UNESCO to promote e-learning, noting that conflicts are everywhere, but even within Assumption University, these things all have to be managed because the university itself has got students from 80 different countries. There's always conflicts among people, but you can always find a way of managing that. Then we have Professor Katsuo Funakawa, who is the president of the Funakawa Information and Environment Technology Company. As he said the outbreaks of war and destruction, they have their origins in humanity itself. And because of that, he said it's up to humans also to be able to find solution and fix those problems. Because anything that can be, as he described himself, he said he's a technical expert and a scientific man, but also he's involved in sports and art and arts, and with a great appreciation for existence on what he called this Mother Earth, a water planet. He's been working in the ICT field for over 40 years, and he's watched it, all the changes that have taken place in human society as a result of that. He described ICT as a tool, precious tool of human networking, and also the importance role it can play in translation and interpretation of languages as a means of communication and bringing people together. He pointed out that ICT is just a tool, and it is eventually the people who utilize it and how they make use of it. One interesting thing that he mentioned was describing the internet as a system of blood vessels within the human body. And it's the blood and what goes through the blood vessels, whether it's the protein or the DNA. If the information is, at the end of the day, if all that is not in good shape, it can land up affecting the entire human body. One other thing that I thought was quite interesting, he said he didn't like use of the word debates, because a debate always lands up being a winner and a loser. Okay, thank you. There's always a winner and loser, and it creates a position of superiority and inferiority. As he says, education is supposed to be of global standards, and winners usually land up being the clever ones, and they go on to become leaders, but he says, be very careful of them, because some leaders have evil hearts, and they lack the courage to initiate good and right action. Finally, we had Miss Lina Slashmulder. Sorry, did I pronounce that right? I hope I did. Who was the Director of Search for Common Ground in Congo and the United States. She mentioned the fact that it is all very well to talk about internet, but in places like Congo, where there's large parts of the country has no electricity, and one of the poorest countries in the world, very few people have access to the internet. So in place of that, she says internet is used for radio, telephones, and various other means of communications, so that people can get connected. She pointed out that conflict pretty much is being on how this is being used to help people in addressing issues like election violence, repatriation of refugees, people who have no land, demobilization, and how the ICTs are used to communicate and create dialogue. She said we can give them voice in their communities so others can understand and experience what it feels to grow up in war and get involved in efforts to reconstruct their society. So that, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, I think within my time limit, 5 seconds up. Thank you very much indeed.
So if I may just try and capture a few of the key points then to summarise your summary, if I may. So in terms of media and ICTs building mutual understanding, one point is hearing and heeding the voices of women, and having this as one of our focal points in approaching improving understanding using media and ICTs. Before we can have understanding, perhaps the world needs healing, and the power of song may be a really helpful contribution to promote that healing. And so using the media and ICTs to share these songs might be a practical next step. Empowering and equipping young people with storytelling skills to be able to share their stories so that their personal experiences don't get lost. If they can't capture and share their stories, we don't hear them, we don't engage in them. The promotion or investing in e-learning as, again, a practical way in which media and ICTs can build mutual understanding. Instilling humanity and appreciation of nature and the earth in our application of media and ICTs, so that we appreciate the precious tool that is the media and not take it for granted. And then finally, but certainly not least, taking an integrated approach to media and ICTs. So take into account that not everywhere has internet access, and using radio and other traditional forms of media to ensure that the voices, the whispers that are so often drowned out are raised up. So thank you so much for that. If we can then quickly move on to the next session, which was conflict management through media and ICTs. I don't know why I'm reading notes, because I was moderating that session, and I'd like to, well, already as efficient as yesterday, Nancy Hunt.